for today's video, I'm going to tell you guys how I learned Tagalog, and do not mind any of the noise you can hear from the outside. I'm on the second floor right now, so you can kind of hear the outside a bit, which I'm really sorry about. But anyways, and everyone can see me as well, which is very awkward. But one question I get asked a lot here on YouTube and in real life is, how did I learn Tagalog? Like, I don't look like I'm a Filipina. A lot of people tell me, you don't look like you're from the Philippines, why do you know Tagalog? And stuff like that. If you guys did not know, I'm half Filipina. I'm half Filipino, half Filipina, whatever. I'm half because my mom is from here, the Philippines. So I'm half. Basically, I'm going to tell you guys the whole story on how I learned Tagalog, and then what I want you guys to do is to tell me, how did you learn Tagalog if you do know how to speak Tagalog? Or how did you learn any other language that isn't your main language? Basically, I was born and raised in Sweden. So when I was growing up, my mom, she was talking to me, she was speaking to me in Tagalog. So I would hear Tagalog all the time. So when I was like 0 years old until I was 6 years old, I guess, I could speak Tagalog. Like, I guess you could say fluent in it, but how fluent are, you know, kids below 6 really. So I was speaking in baby language, but I knew how to speak Tagalog and I could understand it. All of my family members on my mom's side would speak Tagalog to me or English, and I would respond in a baby language, Tagalog. So I knew how to speak Tagalog in the beginning of my life. But when I was 6 years old, and because we lived in the Philippines for around 6 months while I was around 5 years old, something like that. But when we came back to Sweden to live there again, what I always say is I forgot how to speak Tagalog, but I really did not forget how to speak Tagalog. I just became shy because my friends would speak in Swedish, I would speak in Swedish with them, and then when my mom came, you know, to school or was with me and my friends, I didn't want to speak to her in Tagalog because I felt shy about it, so I would respond to her in Swedish, and then over time that led to me not knowing how to speak Tagalog anymore. So I guess in a way I kind of forgot how to speak Tagalog, and I kind of wanted to learn how to speak it, but I was shy. But what I would do is, when I was home alone and nobody was there, I would speak Tagalog to myself, but it was a very bad Tagalog. Like, I didn't know how to speak it really. I really did not know. So I would just be like, Kumusta? Ko si Maria, aso pusa kalabaw. You know, like that. I didn't really know how to speak Tagalog. I just wanted to hear myself say it. I was like, maybe I do know how to speak Tagalog, but I really did not. So anyways, when I was 12, but by the way, my mom would always encourage me to speak Tagalog, but I just didn't want to do it. But at least I could still understand Tagalog, because it's easier to know, you know, to learn a language fluently if you can understand it already, right? So anyways, when I was 12, we moved here to the Philippines, here in Manila. I went to school here for 2 years. We lived here for 2 years, and for the first 3 months of us living here, I was very against wanting to speak Tagalog because I was, and I still am, very shy. But back then I was even more shy. I really did not want to speak Tagalog. And when I came here, I was supposed to be in first year of high school, I think, but they decided to put me back a grade, so I was in 7th grade. And when we came here to the Philippines, it was around April, something like that, and it was summer break, because summer break here starts April, May, and June, something like that, around those dates. And so it was summer break, so I went to summer school in 7th grade, before 7th grade, so that I could learn Tagalog. And in that class, it was me and then some kids who did not know how to speak Tagalog as well, or maybe they were failing, I'm not sure, I don't know. Anyways, I was with another girl. She was from Japan, and both of us were learning how to speak Tagalog. She knew how to speak Tagalog already though. So I was very shy about it, and we had one teacher. It was just the 3 of us for the most part, and I was so shy. I really did not want to speak it, but I kind of tried, you know, kind of. But then I remember after around 3 months, I was like, I have to speak it because I can't live here in the Philippines and not speak Tagalog. I just had to do it even though I was shy. So when we were walking home from school, my mom and I decided, I made like a pact in my mind that I would start that day, and I would start that from that day on, I would speak Tagalog. And the first sentence I said to my mom, I can remember it until now because I wrote it in my diary. Basically, I said, "Mama, pwede ba manood ng One Tree Hill?" That is what I said, which means, "Mama, Mom, can I watch One Tree Hill?" The movie, or the TV show, because I really wanted to watch that TV show, but I guess I wasn't allowed on that day. I don't know, my mom didn't have those kind of rules. I don't know why I asked her, but I was just basically like, that was like my incentive so that I would speak Tagalog. And my mom was shocked, and she was like, "Whoa, yeah, of course you can watch One Tree Hill." And I was like, yes. But then I kind of like, after that, I was just like talking Tagalog, and then I didn't speak Swedish anymore to my mom because I used to speak Swedish to her, she would speak Tagalog to me. So then I would like, when we came home, I continued speaking Tagalog. She was in the kitchen cleaning, and I was like, "Mama, mula ngayon magtatagalog na ako. Hindi na ako mag-Swedish sa'yo. Magtatagalog na ako. Kaya ko na to, marunong na mag-Tagalog. Pero magte-take siguro ng time bago ako maging fluent talaga. Pero magte-try ako." Kind of like that. But I didn't sound that fluent. I still feel like I'm not fluent in Tagalog, but back then I really wasn't, so the accent was very, very thick, and I sounded like such a foreigner. But still, like, at least I spoke Tagalog. And from then on, I started speaking Tagalog. I didn't speak Tagalog in school until my first year of high school, so it took a year for me before I started speaking Tagalog in school. And the only reason why I started speaking Tagalog in school was because I switched school to another school, because as I've said before, I don't want people to see my improvement when it comes to my language. So I wanted to go to another school, fresh start, people who did not know that I couldn't speak Tagalog before and that I learned Tagalog. I know, it's a weird OCD thing with me. So yeah, I'm a perfectionist, I'm a Virgo. But yeah, every year, every day, I got better and better and better the more I spoke the language, of course. That is the number one tip for any language, learning any language. You just have to speak it every day and you will become way better after long, like even after a few weeks you will become better as long as you speak every day. So anyways, then I started getting friends and I would speak to them in Tagalog, and then my Tagalog improved even better. So and then we went back, we moved to Denmark, and I just continued speaking Tagalog to my mom, my family and stuff like that, and then I didn't forget it anymore, and now I can speak Tagalog fluently, even though I still have an accent and people can still hear it. If you're from the Philippines, and you can 100% hear that I'm not 100% Pinoy, but at least I can speak the language, and that is how I learned Tagalog. But now I wanted to give you guys some tips in how you can learn Tagalog in any other language. Like if you ever want to learn another language, here are my tips. I've had to learn Tagalog, Danish, and English throughout my life. So I have gotten a few tips, like after a few years you get some tips, and here are just my personal tips to you guys, and I feel like they're good. I don't know, it's how I learned, so I don't know, hopefully they're good enough. But the number one tip I would give you guys is to not be afraid to speak the language. This is something I struggled with, I still struggle with, because it's scary to speak another language, especially in that language country. How do you say that? In the country of the language. In the origin of the language in the country. Anywho. But like, it's obviously scary. Like for me, when I came here to the Philippines, when I spoke to my soon-to-be Tagalog friends, Filipino friends, I was like so scared because they were fluent in Tagalog, I was not. And I was scared of being judged, of being laughed at, of being bullied. But really, Pinoy people are so nice, so they would never do that. In other countries though, they might also bully you here, but in other countries even more. Like, if you say something wrong, they would bully you and stuff like that. But really, those people who bully you don't matter. And I know it's easier said than done, but like when I was in Denmark, I was terrified of speaking Danish, and I didn't speak Danish for my whole school year until 9th grade, 7th to 9th grade, I didn't speak Danish almost in school. So like, I get that. I only started speaking Danish when I went to graphic design school. So like, I understand that being afraid of speaking the language in the country, like, it's scary because everyone else are like, they grew up speaking that language. But then you also have to think, if you're like, if let's say you're in your country where you grew up, and a foreigner comes in and starts learning your language, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, she's so bad at learning the language. You would be impressed, right? Because that person doesn't know your language, but they're trying to learn your language, and then slowly they're learning it. You would be impressed by them. So think like that instead. Like, think of other people who are nice. They will be impressed by you when you try to learn their language. Usually people like it when you learn their language. They like it. They think it's cute, you know? Usually people will say that accents are cute. If they're nice people, they would do that. So don't think about the bad people, okay? Because what's important is that you will learn the language, right? Another thing I did was watch a lot of Filipino movies and TV shows, because this is the easiest way and the most fun way, I feel like, to learn a language, because it's fun to watch a TV show, right? And you can just put on the subtitles for English or whatever language you want, and then you can really, like, people learn languages through watching TV. Like, I've heard stories, they just watch TV and all of a sudden they become fluent in that language. You just have to be passionate about it. You just have to want to learn it, and you can learn it. Like, I know from experience that if you try to learn a language, it takes a few months. Like, for here in the Philippines, I wanted to learn Tagalog, so I learned it quickly in 3 months. In Denmark, I didn't want to learn Danish, so it took me years before I really learned it. And even after those years, I still am not 100% fluent in Danish, as a lot of people have told me. But at least I can understand it. Like, you have to think about the positives, okay? Another thing is Filipino YouTubers are one of the best ways also to learn Tagalog, because even though some of them or most of them do not put in subtitles, but just hearing the language, you will get the toning and everything. One of my favorite YouTubers that I watch, say Choco, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but her Tagalog is great. And then also, but she speaks English a lot too, so you would understand her vlogs, and then she just puts in Tagalog now and then. And then also Janina Vela, she's kind of like the Filipino version of Bethany Mota. So if you love Bethany, you would love her. And obviously Will Dasovich, but he's a great example. He moved here a few years ago. He's from the US, but he's half Pinoy, and he learned the language, and he has videos on how to learn Tagalog, and you can check those out as well. But he also speaks Tagalog, although his Tagalog is a little bit more like Taglish, but you can also learn from him. Now, obviously, consistency is always the key when learning a new language, so at least 30 minutes a day would be a good thing to do. So 30 minutes a day, open up your book, learn the language, or watch TV or whatever you want to do for those 30 minutes. Do it every day, because when you hear it every day, it will click in your mind. It's kind of like when you learn a new instrument. You have to study and practice it every day to be able to get it in your brain. But obviously the easiest way would be to come to the country of the language. So like, if you wanted to learn Tagalog, obviously the quickest way would be to come here, because then you would be surrounded with the language. That is why I learned so quickly. Because especially if you're young and you come here, you go to school here, like, that is the quickest way. You will learn so quickly. Because to be honest guys, Tagalog is not hard. Like, the way you pronounce a word, that is how you spell it. Like 100%. It's so easy when it comes to spelling. Probably one of the easiest language. And I'm not saying that because, oh, the language isn't a smart language. It's not because of that, but because it really is the truth. It's so easy to learn Tagalog. People from other countries learn it so quickly, even though they have no Tagalog blood in them. But anyways guys, those are my tips and my story on how I learned Tagalog. If you want to leave your tips on how to learn a new language, tell me those down below so we can all learn. And also, if you have any more questions about anything, Tagalog related or anything else, leave those down below. Any video ideas, leave those down below as well. I'm going to do a house tour, I think, soon. I just want to clean up the house, you know. That's why I did this video first. And my hair is so short and I miss my long hair. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's sit down video. I know I don't really do these that often because I feel like maybe it would be boring for you guys, but language is something that has been important in my life because I've been learning new languages all the time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Tell me down below your thoughts, and also make sure to check out my vlog channel Ariaville if you want to know what I'm doing every day here in the Philippines, and go to my social medias at AriaABF and V011. Thanks for watching, guys. Gracias por ver. I will see you guys the next time. Adios, amigos. Woo!